Hi, today's good person to know is Christian Heilmann. He's Principal Evangelist at Mozilla, and his talk was on research findings that Mozilla with 12 other companies had commissioned on mobile trends. Christian identified possible problems and opportunities from that study, so thank you very much for sharing, Christian. He said that iOS controls most of the high-end market and that the Android dominates everything else, and that there are 18,769 different devices out there, of which 43% are made by Samsung. He spoke about app revenue potential and said don't be fooled by WhatsApp, because it wasn't about the app, it was about their market reach. And for the first time in history, more people are using their mobiles to shop than their desktops, and that women use apps more than men do, and that a staggering 65.5% of smartphone users don't download apps. Christian then spoke about the future of mobile. Now do watch this video because Christian's talk is brilliant for anyone wanting to know about the future of mobile and apps. So I hope you enjoy this video and thank you for watching.
Market research right now saying what's going on in the mobile space, where there is problems for us, where there's opportunities for us, and there's a lot of insight going on that I have put together in these slides for you. Research that we and 12 other companies paid for and got a lot of information out of it, and a few findings were, that's interesting for today as well, is that iOS controls most of the high-end device market. Whereas on the other hand, Android controls almost every other area. It's much more devices, it's much more diverse, it's much more people going for it. And Windows Phone gets developer interest, but not too many users. If you look at the numbers of that, at the slides, you can see that the share in shipments in Android is absolutely astronomically going up, whereas the others are just petering away. And most of these gains are actually in the markets where you don't expect them. In essence, what it means is 255 million units shipped, which is nearly 85% of the market share. And most of these gains are in the $100 to $200 phones, which of course leads to a problem that a lot of people are talking about when they talk about Android, and this is fragmentation. These are all the Android devices that people found at like 286,000 devices that they checked or something like that. All in all, this research found 18,769 different devices. And that's from last year was 11,886 last year. So there's a 7,000 devices, something like that, 6,000 devices more in 1 year. That's quite amazing. I find it funny as a web developer where people always complain that the web is so fragmented and we have to care about 5 different browsers in different resolutions. Like, yeah, it's like, this is really hard because a lot of those devices are not even available to you. So if you want to reach, for example, the Japanese market, there's totally different devices there in America, and you can't even get them shipped over. Another interesting bit is that 43% of those devices are Samsung. I realized that they are bringing the hardware into people's hands. So they're also forking a lot of Android and doing different things with it. So there is a trend that people don't upgrade their phones any longer. That they don't get the newer versions, or they bought a phone by a provider that doesn't even offer you an upgrade because you bought it for $50 in a supermarket, well not $50, $150 in a supermarket, and you cannot get an upgrade. And in comparison with iOS, of course it's much worse, because iOS has like 3 versions that really people use, and if you can see in Android there's much more than there. Luckily enough, Froyo and Gingerbread, like the really evil ones that are basically not doing the things that I want to do, especially for me as a developer, as a web developer, with the standard browser that they had. They're getting out there. Also, it's a bit tricky to see that they split up Jelly Bean into 3 of them. As an app developer, also, what is your resolution? Resolutions of different screens are interesting. This is the Android screen sizes compared to the iOS screen sizes. App revenue is a really interesting one as well. Have-nothings, these are people that make less than $100 per app per month. And that's the biggest chunk, sadly enough, 47%. Then we got the poverty-stricken ones, which is $100 to $1,000 per app per month. Then we have the strugglers, which is $1,000 to $10,000, which is still not enough really to make a living if you think about it. And then we got the haves, which are like $10,000 up to Kim Kardashian. The majority of app business is not sustainable with the current revenue. In the news it's like, oh, WhatsApp got bought for $18 billion. I can write that app. Good luck with that. Like there's so many clones out right now of that. What people forget is that WhatsApp was bought not for the software but for the people using it. WhatsApp was huge in South America. Nobody would buy a phone without WhatsApp on it. Facebook was not that interesting in South America because people used their phones and the app was slow. WhatsApp was cool, I can send it to my friends on feature phones and these kind of things. So Facebook bought WhatsApp to get a new market, not to get a piece of software. They could have written it themselves. 50% of iOS developers, 64% of Android developers below the app poverty line of $500 per month. The next interesting is of course games. Games dominate the App Store revenues. Like games, people make money, and apparently, or the App Stores make money with games, and you make more money with app in sales, like in the game, than with the upfront payment. Nobody pays for an app a lot of money, and I find it sad. 33% of developers make games, but 57 of those games make less than $500 per month. Which of course floods markets with games that are just copies of games and others, like Angry Birds, Angry Pigs, Angry Octopi, Angry whatever. People think you're just copying the game makes it a success again. No, not necessarily. We asked about people who they target. What kind of target consumers do they have? And the first one was of course consumers, and then professionals, and then target enterprises. The interesting insight into that one though is that 67% of mobile app developers target them, but the enterprise gold rush is the thing that we should think about. Developers who target enterprises are twice as likely to be earning over 5K per app per month, and almost 3 times as likely to earn more than 25K per app per month. Successful apps, the ones that make money, that ship quickly and are out there, are using tool chains from other people. Of course, you have to make sure that these tools are reliable and these tools are really free, and not just like, okay, they're free until we shut them down and you don't have a business any longer. But a lot of solutions like scorekeeping, like billing, all of these things are out there. There's no sense in you trying to do everything by yourself. One of the things that people said is like that for the first time in history, more people are shopping on mobile devices than on desktops. Women use much more apps than men do, which is an interesting one as well. And in every single department, strangely enough. Also, in gaming, female gamers over-index males on time, money, and loyalty. What does that tell us? The big thing with these numbers came out that I saw a lot of people like, whoa, we should be thinking about women now much more. The same rules when it comes to apps apply as they apply to toys. If you analyze a toy, how to tell if a toy is for boys and for girls? Do you operate the toy with your genitalia? If yes, it's not for children. If no, it might be for a boy or a girl. Stop pretending that we need different things for different genders. There's interests, and that doesn't have anything to do with your sexuality. So make sure that you actually are diverse as possible in your offering, and not insult anybody with your offering, and you'll be fine. The numbers of apps that people download per month, 0 apps is at 65% of the users out there. Which are the apps that are people downloading and the ones that are using? Facebook, 115 million. YouTube, Google Play, Google Search. Google Play is an app, don't forget about that. Gmail, Instagram, Yahoo Stocks, really? Yahoo Messenger, I worked on that one. Don't know what that one looks nowadays. And so on and so forth. Snapchat web channel, Apple Maps, good luck with that. Netflix, all the things that you would expect. Facebook is by far the top app. 150 million unique users in June, 160 million total in US app users, 72% penetration. Google is the top mobile publisher. Everybody just sees Google as a search engine and as the operating system provider, but they're also publishing the most successful apps. Which, good to them, I like it. That's great, but a lot of people never see that they manage to keep control over this. There are no games in the top 25 when it comes to usage. The reason is that people use games for a short while, then they get bored of it. People not go for new apps. The reason is we've got 24 hours on this planet and every day. And we're busy. Every single app that is successful has an idea of getting you addicted and trying to lock you into that app. And people fall for that already. A lot of these apps are just there for you to put things in. Facebook would be nothing without your content. Instagram would be nothing without your photos. And it feels like, okay, I get really excited to generate major content for major brands. Like, please let me pay for an app so I can put my content in there. It's kind of weird that that works out, but an addiction, or your friends are using it, peer pressure, all these things wonderfully work. I think it's good to be prepared. And there's even more things coming around the corner. We go into a world where the interface is becoming even more challenging than it is now. I would predict now the first malware to come out for any of those will be a watch face. I was thinking about, if you really want to talk to humans, you have to put an emotional response in there as well. So, say, pair of jeans is connected to the internet, and then it realizes I'm surfing for other jeans. Would I get a tweet from my jeans saying like, am I not good enough anymore? What I find more exciting, and I'm working on a lot, is emerging markets. This is the internet of things, of connected things on the internet. Mostly mobile phones, tablets, and computers. Not that worldwide. It's just reddish places, and funnily enough, nothing in the middle of America, which is kind of bizarre as well. And South America was pretty dark as well, so we're not there. But the potential is amazing. Most of the quarter gains from this year of Android was actually in the $100 to $200 market and the low-end market. And a lot of those is in emerging markets. Predictions for the emerging markets are huge because the other markets are already saturated. People forget, we cannot bring Western products to emerging countries when people don't care. Instead, we should empower the engineers, the developers, the entrepreneurs there. Now, future strategies. What can you do about this? Markets are important. So think about that as a future for you as well. People are using the same things they used to do on TV, they used to do in newspapers. Most people out there are not techies, they're not that interested in technology, they just want to have their weather, they want to chat with their friends, they want to upload some photos and do something on the web. The whole concept of the internet being this amazing, clean, wonderful thing of the future is not going to happen because physics are against us. So the ubiquitous, great internet of everything is not going to be there. Being more and more connected makes us more and more antisocial and actually sad. Because we share too much, we give too much of ourselves on the internet out there. So let's think about technologies and apps that make that better. But what we should think about is web-based services. Like Google Now, iCloud, all these things work because the data comes from the web and gets converted into some interface. So don't think about writing an app, think about writing a data provider. Think about what to do with that data. If you encrypt it, well, don't encrypt it. If you keep it storage outside American servers where other people don't keep it there. That's the kind of things to think about. Go broad, deliver quickly and iterate. This is in the Spotify office in Stockholm and I like it. Think it, build it, ship it, tweak it. Get the thing out there. Tweak it to the needs of the market. Don't try to assume what the market wants.